Hello everyone, John Jugger 12 back here again with another video. Now today I'm going to be talking about, once again, Dragon Ball Z related topics. And as you all know, I have a playlist where I basically, on occasion, I've been taking some time in gaps between each video, but for the most part, I've been making videos of my personal thoughts on Dragon Ball Z related stuff, and specifically, I've been talking a lot about of the possible live-action Dragon Ball Z films. As you all know, 20th Century Fox owns the rights to Dragon Ball Z and the Dragon Ball franchise, which means that they can essentially just do whatever they want. And I was just trying to think of, like, well, what can they do with it, and, like, what would they, and what should they do with it? Because regardless of what the fans may think or say, they still own the rights, you know, and they still, if they wanted to make a sequel or a reboot to the film that they eventually end up doing, it's their call. And as you all know, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, that tons of people on the internet and on specifically YouTube have taken it upon themselves to make tons of great fan, not fiction, but like fan related and fan created live action Dragon Ball Z projects. And for the most part, all of it's great. All of it's really done well. A lot of it took a lot of time, I'm sure. But obviously, they don't have what a great Dragon Ball Z movie needs. As you all know, 20th Century Fox is a big company. They're not going to go on YouTube and see like, oh well, this guy did this and a lot of people like it, if it doesn't like appeal to them. I mean, like, they have tons of movies on the rise that they're making. But as you all know, that I'm a huge believer in a Dragon Ball Z live action movie. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, and I've been making these videos where I've been talking about basically my personal thoughts on them. How can you make one? How do you get them to work? Because even though I'm a purist of a Dragon Ball fan, I'm also an amateur filmmaker, so I know a lot of, and I have a lot of dedication and insight to the film industry, and I essentially am not trying to bash anybody on YouTube of their dreams or of their work of what they've been trying to do. All I'm trying to encourage is improvement. A lot of people can go ahead and do their own thing, but unless we're not going to do it right and do it the way it should be, 20th Century Fox is not going to do anything. They're just going to continue doing their own movies, which I think is wrong. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, like, 20th Century Fox is a great company and they do their things, but all I'm trying to say is that to all anime fans slash manga fans slash fans of Dragon Ball, it is possible to make this type of franchise work. I mean, like, if comic book movies can do it, why can't anime? I've been saying that for years. Like, for like the past years, I've been saying that. Like, if comic book movies can be successful, why can't anime films? And anime films fail because people take too much away from the source material, or people take too many liberties, or maybe like they have the wrong people, or they don't have the right, you know, inspiration, or like there's many reasons as to why these things fail. But we've never had a true epic anime film. Of course, Japan, you know, does their own thing, and there's not really much of like anything we can do. But seeing as how America continues to buy the rights to anime franchises like Death Note and Bleach and whatnot, if they're gonna buy it, why not do it right? And seeing as how 20th Century Fox still, regardless of what any of us think or if any of us say, they still own the rights. And of course, as any other Dragon Ball fan should do, I'm trying to encourage people to try and do the right thing and trying to encourage 20th Century Fox to make a good Dragon Ball film. And based off the feedback I've gotten in my last two films on the topic, a lot of people of you agree with me. A lot of people think that a film franchise of Dragon Ball in a live action format should be done by fans and should be encouraged by fans, and a lot of you agree with the specific thoughts that I've been giving, and I thank you, and I really encourage everyone to continue watching these videos, because as much as I like all the fan stuff on YouTube, it still is not really doing anything on screen, you know? We're not pushing boundaries. We're not really, taking, you know, opening the landscape. We're not really escalating the film industry by just making these type of like things that someone can make on Photoshop. We're just encouraging fans to do their own things, which is good, but we're not really encouraging 20th Century Fox to take a second thought. Because if you look at all the films that they're planning to do, they're not really, Dragon Ball is really not on their top 5 list of what they're going to do. But enough of my rambling. Let's get right into the specific thing that I want to talk about. In my previous topic, I stated 5 ways on to make a Dragon Ball Z movie, a live action Dragon Ball Z movie work. And in one of those 5 specific ways that I mentioned, one of them was design. And that's what I'm specifically going to talk about today, the design of characters. If you go on like all the fan fiction stuff, like just to name a few, like K&K Productions and whatnot, they do a great job on the production. Of course, they got a lot of money from the fans and whatnot, and they put in a lot of time and effort to the stuff. But the costumes, regardless, kind of aren't up to par to what it should be. And I think that's a lot of problems that fans come in contact with, or the industry itself come in contact with, because the costumes and designs of the characters in the anime are very hard to translate. But I don't think people are thinking outside the box. I don't really believe that people are really like trying to consider all material that they can put into the characters. And one of the biggest things that I was trying to think of as to what can be translated perfectly, I think the number one thing that can be translated perfectly has to be Saiyan armor. If you go online right now and try to look up like realistic Saiyan armor or like prop Saiyan armor or just like stuff that prop makers and like computer designers have created, they do amazing jobs on creating Saiyan armor. And as much as I like the design that Toriyama does in his chapters in the manga of the Saiyan armor, like Vegeta wears and all the other Saiyans, I think it should be a piece of technology. It's, of course, armor, but I think it should be considered technology. I mean, like, if you took the Iron Man chest suits and shoulder pieces and gauntlets and boots, that's essentially Saiyan armor. I mean, for instance, I just witnessed Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and in that movie, the Falcon wears a pilot tech wings that are attached to his back. It's essentially a backpack, and what it is just it carries his wings, and they just shoot out like very obviously. It's very organic and technical, but that should be like Saiyan armor. It should be like a backpack that covers the Saiyan's entire body, and every single piece that's attached, a designer should work to make it look like as if every single piece that's attached to that armor has to look like every single inch of that suit took probably thousands of like man hours and dollars just to make that work, and just to make that feel like this is going to go on a person who's going to go across the universe and just destroy things, and that's going to protect his skin for whatever damage he causes. And the same thing goes for all the other Saiyans, specifically Vegeta, seeing as how he's the main antagonist and character on the show that actually wears Saiyan armor consistently, should wear that. I mean, if you go online and look up, like, of course I can't really give any names because off the top of my head, but there's tons of designers that create awesome work. And if you look at it, that would be perfect to adapt. And I think what of course, these are things that are very technical and a lot of cost-worthy type of things, but at the same time, if you're going to go big and you're going to go all out on this project, you have to put every single inch into this, because it's not going to succeed just because you want it to or because you're a fan. You have to put it all in there. You have to make the costumes of these characters look, for an American audience, to be like, yes, and to be like, that's Vegeta, that's a Saiyan. identify that suit as Saiyan armor. The same goes for Goku. If you go online, there's a lot of like reimaginings and redesigns to his suit and to his gi, and there's lots of good ones. There's not really any real bad ones, but a lot of people like to accessorize him with really bulky clothing. But I think it's good to keep Goku mobile. And I'm not trying to say like we should go like if you're going to make your own film project of the franchise, I'm not saying go all out and be like let's just give him like an orange spandex suit. No, I'm not trying to state that. Even though if you're going to change the suit, you should essentially keep it to the colors and keep it to the look of the design of his suit, but definitely give it your own feel. Definitely accessorize it and definitely give it, some balls. Once again, a lot of people like to bulk it up and accessorize it, and I don't think that's really the way to go. Because if Goku needs to be very agile, he's a really big but slick character, so he needs to be very agile and very mobilized. I think the movie Man of Steel did a really great job, and movies like that, like Iron Man, like what they did with Iron Man, all they did was to help out Robert Downey Jr. play Iron Man. All they did was put him in a motion capture suit and just film and just design and create the suit over his body so he can just do all his acting very easily. And they did the same thing with Shannon, Michael Shannon as Zod for Man of Steel. That suit that he wears, that really cool suit, Kryptonian suit, armor, he doesn't actually wear in the movie. He actually just wears that Kevlar suit, spandex suit, and what they did was design the armor around him because it was too bulked up and hard for him to act and move at the same time. So I think that's the best way to go. If you're going to create the suit of Vegeta or Goku, and if you're going to make it really bulk up, for instance, like the Saiyan armor, and make it very technical, designing it is not a bad way to go. I know a lot of people are like prop makers and they really would like to have his suit be something that you can feel and touch. I do the same way. I feel the same way. But at the same time, there's nothing against having his Vegeta's suit or Saiyan armor being digitized. There's nothing against that. Of course, once again, in my previous video, I did state like keeping things non-photoshoppy. So, of course, you're going to have to have a really good creative team on your side to like really work that out. The same thing works for Goku. I really think like when it comes to the gis, I'm not saying you should go full on realistic and like just go to like a karate school and like pick up a bunch of gis. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like keep true to the colors, keep true to the overall look. There's nothing against accessorizing the suit, but there's definitely something against over accessorizing and definitely bulking the suit up, because then you have like what Justin Chatwin like wore on Dragon Ball Evolution, which was basically like these parachute fucking pants. Like that's not good. If you're gonna have, I know like the clothing occasionally on the show gets a little baggy, but at the same time when you have clothes that's way too baggy and your pants are basically just a cape, and there's something wrong. So you definitely have to do a good job at accessorizing, but keeping him very agile and slick. But I've been rambling way too long, and I'm going to try and end it here. All I'm trying to do, people, is, like, for anybody who's a Dragon Ball fan who's watching this video, is that all I'm trying to do is encourage people, because even though 20th Century Fox has basically given up hope on, like, making a Dragon Ball film, seeing as how they failed the first time, and I'm pretty sure, like, a new film or a reboot is completely way off from what they plan to do. All I'm trying to do is encourage fans, if they're going to try their hardest to encourage to make a film franchise, to try to do it to its full potential, because Dragon Ball Evolution was crap, and we don't need a repeat of that. And there's definitely tons of different ways to go through it, but there's only one good way. But I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this specific video, and thank you for watching. And of course, if you have any thoughts or differences with anything I stated, please feel free to state them in the comment section.